And welcome back to the New Orleans Saints franchise mode here on Madden 25. This is week number 12 of the 2025 regular season. The Saints find themselves at 5-5. Still the number 7 seed currently in the NFC playoffs as we take a look at the standings right here. You got the number 1 seed currently, the San Francisco 49ers at 9-2, the Cowboys at 8-3, the Panthers at 6-4 in the 3rd seed. And we're only a game behind them. That is crazy. We are definitely still in play for the NFC South. You got in the NFC North, the 4 seed, the Bears. You have the 5 seed currently at 7-4, the Commanders. The Eagles, again out the NFC East, are the 6 seed, and currently we are sitting at the number 7 spot at 5-5. Tied with us are the Minnesota Vikings. But we are not in a horrible start for as bad as this season has been so far. In terms of us dropping a lot of games that are very winnable, we are still in the postseason right now, and we are only a game out of being in the lead in the NFC South. So I think we are fine right now. Let's take a look at what we've got in terms of storylines before this game. We've got the mentoring thing, Carl and Jalen. I feel like we do this like every week, and nothing ever comes out of it. Great progress. I feel like it's the same cutscene every single time. And yeah, again, we check back in a couple weeks. All right, we'll take the XP and we'll move on. This week we take on the Atlanta Falcons. Again, Kirk Cousins, I believe, is still their starting quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's Michael Penix yet, but we can check right now. Kirk Cousins last year broke the single-game passing yards record against us. Of course, Derek Carr will later break that later in the season, but actually, no, it's Michael Penix Jr. Even though Kirk is a better overall, they have moved to Michael Penix instead. So we are going to get our first look at the former Washington Husky and Michael Penix Jr. We'll see how that goes. They are 4-6. We are 5-5. Actually, a huge game because if Atlanta wins this game, then they would find themselves as the number 7 seed as long as the Vikings would lose. It's a huge game. Spencer Rattler, of course, leads the NFL in passing yards. We get Nick Chubb back this week, which is absolutely huge for our team because Chubb can run the football and Chuba Hubbard can just focus on catching passes out the backfield. And Chris Olave still leads the NFL with 1,155 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns. Something to note: Cooper Kupp only with 1 touchdown this season. We probably need to get that figured out. JSN is back after that 1-week injury last week. And again, we are at full strength for the most part in this game at home against the Atlanta Falcons. The second to last home game of the season. I believe we have week 16 at home against the Buffalo Bills. Other than that, it is going to be all road games for the rest of the season. Next week, we take on the Rams, who, believe it or not, are 0-10. So we'll see if they lose the Seahawks this week. If they lose to Seattle, they'll be 0-11 for our game next week at SoFi Stadium. And the Houston Texans, who we matched up with earlier on this season on Sunday Night Football, are 10-0. So something to look out for there. Let's do it, though. Saints and Falcons divisional matchup here from the Superdome. And folks, if you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more Saints franchise mode here on the channel. Let's do it. Saints and Falcons from New Orleans. All right, 2 teams trying to make a push for the postseason here with the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. There is Spencer Rattler, obviously 3,400 yards this season at 31 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. He has exceeded any expectations put out for him for this 2025 regular season as the new starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, and he will be taking on another first-year starter for the Atlanta Falcons. We are talking about Michael Penix Jr., the former starting quarterback of the Washington Huskies. And if you watched Washington versus Washington State today in the Apple Cup, well, you kind of think that maybe Michael Penix was the heart and soul of that Huskies team. Well, in all fairness, I mean, they lost all 3 of their receivers. But anyways, that's besides the point. Penix gets the start tonight for Atlanta, and here he comes out so far this season at 2,290 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Here comes Atlanta from their own 34-yard line. Penix out the empty gun looking to throw. He's got all day. Penix will now look to run. Here he goes. Jeremy Chin knocks it out. First play of fumble by the Falcons. Jeremy Chin with a huge hit on Michael Penix. And New Orleans takes over after just 1 play. So here comes the cock commander, Spencer Rattler. 3,373 yards, 31 touchdowns, 16 picks. We went over it in the open again. The one spot of concern for Rattler is definitely the interceptions. But right here on 1st and 10, he delivers to Cooper Kupp. Huge gain of 23 down to the 15-yard line, setting up for a 1st and 10 for New Orleans from that 15. Rattler on a sprint out, looks over the top, and that ball's picked. Going for Chris Olave. Instead, the route is undercut by A.J. Terrell, and both the Falcons and Saints exchange turnovers on both of their first drives. It's a Penix fumble and a Rattler interception. So here come the Falcons from their own 20-yard line. A little screen play right there to the former Florida Gator, Kyle Pitts. Pitts has got a big first down and more as he's not brought down, but he steps out at the 42-yard line after a gain of 22. 2nd and 10 for Atlanta. Penix over the middle delivers to Bijan Robinson. Robinson's got the first down to the 47-yard line of New Orleans. 1st and 10. Penix looking to throw to his right. That ball's underthrown, and it's picked. Jeremy Chinn's got both a forced fumble and an interception already, and we are about 5 minutes into this game. Jeremy Chinn playing a huge factor already in this game as the Saints turn over Penix for the 2nd time tonight. Here come New Orleans now from the 38-yard line. Welcome back, Nick Chubb. Look at him bouncing off tackles. Nick Chubb's got a first down and 13 yards to the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 for New Orleans. Handoff. Nick Chubb getting to the outside. He's got some space. Got to run a man over as he is pushed back at the 41-yard line. Here comes now a 2nd and 8 for New Orleans after getting that previous first down. Halfback draw to Chuba Hubbard. And yes, we are keeping the ball on the ground for a little bit here. Considering again, Rattler's decision making and his underthrown balls sometimes can be costly for us. 1st and 10, New Orleans. Rattler looking, scrambling to his right. Rattler's still looking. He'll let one fly. Going for Olave. That ball's picked. 2 drives, 2 interceptions for Spencer Rattler, and that was not ideal at all. It really wasn't. I mean, to be fair, Chris Olave was there, and instead Olave just retreated after the football was thrown. I don't entirely get that, but Atlanta back with the football now, and Penix over the top is going to find his receiver on the post route right there. There's a first down for Atlanta's offense from the 49-yard line. Play action fake for Penix looking to throw. Oh, Demario Davis chased that route perfectly, but unfortunately the former Buffalo Bill, Khalil Shakir, is just too fast. Shakir's got the first down on the crossing route to the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 handoff to Bijan Robinson. Atlanta blocking here is excellent. Romeo Richard gonna bring down Robinson at the 4-yard line, but now a 3rd and goal from the 5 for Atlanta. Penix looking to throw, being pressured. Down he goes. Huge sack for the Saints. It's Foskey. And it's New Orleans' 3rd sack of the game. Younghoe Koo came out and booted the chip shot field goal. So a 3-0 lead for Atlanta, but a huge stop for that New Orleans defense to, again, limit the damage to only 3. So after that Cooper Kupp first down, here comes a 1st and 10 for Spencer Rattler, and we probably should have just taken things to the 2nd quarter. Because instead, Rattler is dropped for a loss of 13 yards, and it is now a 2nd and 23 after we come back from break. 3-0 though is our score for now in favor of the Falcons over the Saints. So here is that aforementioned 2nd and 23. We're going to send Chuba out to empty, and Spencer Rattler loses another 12 yards. So it's 3rd and 35 for New Orleans. Rattler empty gun look, looking for Dalvin Crosby. Route is just undercut again by Atlanta. That ball is going to fall incomplete. So after the punt, Atlanta's got it from their own 49-yard line. Here comes Michael Penix. That is a 4th sack for the Saints. Wow, they are getting to Michael Penix. 3rd and 11 Atlanta. Penix looking to throw over the top. Jeremy Chinn's got number 2. He's forced all 3 Saints turnovers tonight. 2 interceptions and a forced fumble for Jeremy Chinn. He is single-handedly keeping this Saints team in this game. My goodness, Jeremy Chinn. Huge stuff coming out of our safety right there in Chinn. New Orleans' offense comes back out from the 43-yard line, and Cooper Kupp so far has been the target of choice for Spencer Rattler. 3 catches for 58 yards. There's a first down to get us into Falcons territory, and there's Cooper Kupp again. We wanted to get him more involved in the offense, and yes, Jackson Smith-Njigba is back. He just hasn't been targeted so far tonight. 2nd and 12 handoff to Nick Chubb, getting to the outside. That's a huge burst for Chubb. Down to the 3-yard line. There's a pickup of 17 yards. 1st and goal for New Orleans. Power I, and there goes Nick Chubb. He's in. Touchdown, New Orleans. They have taken a 4-point lead, 7-3, and that was a great offensive drive, but you still got to get a lot of credit to the Saints defense and Jeremy Chinn for, again, being where we're at in this game, up 7-3. Michael Penix is back out here for Atlanta. He's going to shake and bake his way down to the 45-yard line, so there's a pickup of 15 yards for Atlanta's quarterback. 2nd and 10, Penix fires to his right to Bijan Robinson. It's going to take more than one man to bring him down. Bijan's got it now to the 39-yard line. Here comes a 1st and 10 from the 29. Penix play action fake. He doesn't have any time as Antoine McAllister is there. The rookie brings him down. It'll now be a 3rd and 17 for the Falcons offense. It's a screen to Bijan Robinson, and the Saints will stay in front of him. Willie Gay with the tackle, and Younghoe Koo now will come out for a field goal here. It's going to be a 45-yarder, and Koo is true. So a 7-6 lead now for the Saints. 90 seconds to go here in this first half for New Orleans. Spencer Rattler going to scramble to his left, escape, and have the first down and more down to the Atlanta 47-yard line after a run of 13. Here comes a 2nd and 5 for the Saints. Rattler still looking to throw. He'll dump it off to Chuba Hubbard, who's virtually uncovered, and Hubbard will pick up 15 yards on that little dump-off pass. 46 seconds to go in the quarter. Rattler with all 3 timeouts will look to his left to Dalvin Crosby. Crosby gets out of bounds, setting up for a 3rd and 2 with 40 seconds to go. Rattler out the gun. We just got to get 2 yards here. We got all 3 timeouts. We're going to use the timeout here and get the first down on the ground. But now a 3rd and 7 for New Orleans after a sack and a completion. No timeouts left. Rattler finds Chuba Hubbard. He's down to the 1. No huddle. Got a spike. How does that take 20 seconds? How? That is absolutely ridiculous. No way that takes 20 seconds for all those guys to get down and spike it. It's 7-6 going into the second half. That is horrible. See, in college football, again, you have the no huddle animation, and you can literally see each second ticking down as you're trying to spike the football. In Madden, again, we just accelerate the clock, and all of a sudden we lose 19 seconds. Come on. That's really bad. You're telling me in 19 seconds we couldn't get up to the 1-yard line, spike the football, and give us a chance to either, again, go for the touchdown or kick the field goal and get 3 points? I mean, it's horrible. So the Saints on their first drive of the second half, though, are moving the ball downfield. We're down to the 25-yard line. Again, I feel like we should be up by more than just 1 point, but this has been a dominant drive so far. And look at Nick Chubb. Down to the 8-yard line. He's already got 70 yards tonight in his return. 3rd and goal for New Orleans from the 3. Rattler looking. He's got a wide open Chris Olave. Touchdown, Saints. Olave hasn't been the biggest factor tonight, but he spots up for a touchdown, and the Saints go up 14-6 thanks to that Rattler to Olave connection. So here comes Atlanta back with the football from their own 30-yard line. Kyle Pitts on that in-breaking route has got a first down and a lot more. Ennis Rakestraw trying to chase him down, and he will. All the way down to the 10-yard line, the Falcons are immediately back in business. But the Falcons are still yet to get in the end zone. 1st and 10, Khalil Shakir on that drag or crossing route. There's a pickup of 7, but now a 3rd and goal from the 5 after a loss of 2. Penix looking, still looking, and the Saints defense gets to him again. Wow, another crucial red zone stop by the Saints. Younghoe Koo back out again, but he makes it a 5-point game. 14-9 is now our score. 30 seconds to go here in this 3rd quarter. Rattler going to hand it off to Nick Chubb on a 3rd and short, and Chubb's got it and a lot more. It's been a huge night for Chubb, 90 yards rushing, and the Saints have a lead, a 5-point lead going into the 4th quarter, and with the football, it's looking good. All right, 4th quarter. Here comes a 2nd and 8 for Spencer Rattler. The commander looks over the middle to Cooper Kupp, who I would say has had his biggest game so far as a Saint. I feel like he's the only receiver we've called so far tonight. 2nd and 4, outside zone, handoff to Chuba Hubbard, who is still definitely a factor in this offense. Hubbard down to the 6-yard line, setting up for a 1st and goal. Fake jet touch pass instead. It's going to Nick Chubb up the middle. Chubb, with the gain of 5. 100-yard day for Chubb. Now go punch it in the end zone. He does. Nick Chubb gets in his 2nd touchdown of the night, makes it a 21-9 lead for the New Orleans Saints. All the pressure on Atlanta. Michael Penix on a 2nd and 11 gets sacked. The Saints' 6th of the game. Another pressure. 3rd and 18 for Penix. He dumps it off to Bijan Robinson. Romeo Richard is there on the tackle. Here comes a 4th and 11. Atlanta has to go for it with 4 and change left to play. Here we go. Penix looking, still looking, deep shot. Kool-Aid is there. McKinstry comes down with it, and that should seal it. Kool-Aid McKinstry with the return all the way back to the 37-yard line. It is the 4th time Michael Penix has given up the football tonight. Obviously, the fumble and then the 2 picks to Chin. And now to Kool-Aid McKinstry. The Saints offense just trying to ice this one. 3rd and 3 screen play to Chuba Hubbard. Look at all the space he has. Hubbard will get the first down to the opposing 43-yard line. Here comes now a 2nd and 6 from the 40. Rattler on the give to Nick Chubb. Getting to the outside. Nick Chubb's got room. Barreling his way down to the 22-yard line after a gain of 18 yards. Here comes a 3rd and 10 from the 22-yard line. We stick on the ground just to try to chew the clock, but still Nick Chubb finds a way to get the first down. It has been a relentless effort so far tonight from Nick Chubb. We're going to keep it on the ground again on a 2nd and 14, and look at Chubb work all the way down to the 1-yard line. He's got 153 rushing yards. Let's get him the 3rd touchdown of the night. Chubb is in. 3 touchdowns tonight at home against the Falcons. What a game for Nick Chubb, his first game after a 4-week injury. My goodness. Atlanta back with the football, down by 19 points, 28-9 is our score. I had to show it. Michael Penix cross body. That ball is picked as well. Kool-Aid McKinstry matches Jeremy Chin's total. They both have 2, and of course, it is the 5th time the Saints have turned over Michael Penix tonight, and it was all McKinstry and Chin, but again, all the credit in the world to the Saints front line in the pass rush. I mean, seriously, Michael Penix was in some heat tonight, the entire game. New Orleans brought it the entire game. Of course, all those QB hurries, all those pressures, the 6 or more, I believe, sacks. And Spencer Rattler didn't play his best game, definitely not, only about 170 yards passing, but we didn't really need it tonight. And this was, again, this isn't how we've been playing this season, but basically this was kind of the strategy that we were going to use all season long, and this is kind of the direction we were looking at this season. A run-heavy attack and hit him with the play action if we need it, with a quarterback who wasn't going to be Derek Carr, either Will Levis or Spencer Rattler. Obviously, it turned out to be Rattler, but again, that's not the way the season and the offense has shifted. I'm fine with that, but if we need to go back to it in games like this, we can. Nick Chubb had himself a day, and Spencer Rattler had 2 picks, 1 interception, kind of, took a back seat, but that's fine. New Orleans wins, we get the W. Moving on to the next one. Next week, we go on the road to take on the 0-11 Los Angeles Rams, a game you gotta have against a team that's not very good, and it's also Cooper Kupp's return to Los Angeles. So folks, thank y'all for watching episode number 34 of the New Orleans Saints franchise mode here on Madden 25. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you are enjoying the series so far. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.